Linda, your models are completely unrealistic, the CFO shouted over the company-wide Zoom, in front of 200 employees, turning months of my work into a public joke. The screen went silent. Someone quietly dropped a coffee mug. I could almost hear it shatter. 3 days later, the same face begged me on the same screen to retract clause 6.7, fingers trembling over the mouse, powerless to stop assets rolling across subsidiaries in a chain of freezes, his arrogance utterly destroyed. My name is Linda, former Senior Director of Financial Architecture. The title sounds impressive, but in reality, it meant I built invisible bridges, maintaining balance across company debt, cross-collateral guarantees, and cash flow. Every quarter, I submitted reports nobody read. Every week, I fixed disasters left behind by Brent and others. My work never demanded attention, but it delivered results. And in this room, results were perceived as threats. I remembered clause 6.7, asset seizure and cross-default provisions, buried in the revised loan exposure protocols, approved by legal years ago. It was a firewall designed to prevent one subsidiary from taking down the entire group. I never planned to use it, until today when they froze my salary and humiliated me publicly. Friday morning, the hallway outside the boardroom felt like a quiet river. Wind slipped through glass cracks, carrying the city's chill. My coffee was cold. On the notebook beside my teacup, the last log blinked. Auto-seize protocol execution initiated. Clause 6.7 active. I opened the emergency legal Zoom link. Faces on the screen moved like slowed-down animation. Board members went pale. The CFO's neck seemed constricted, hands clutching the edge of the table. They hadn't expected that the person they had sidelined could revive a clause and strike back. The meeting began. The legal advisor projected clause 6.7, cross-default triggers, automatic asset reallocation, legal distribution lists. Each clause cut like a precise surgical knife. The chairman's eyes scanned the page, his eyebrows taut as if pulled by strings. "Can this be reversed?" the CFO asked, voice shaking. "No manual override," the legal advisor said. "Trigger conditions have been automatically detected and submitted to the relevant jurisdictions." "Yes, but," the CFO faltered like a key stuck in a lock. I didn't need to speak. The system would proceed on its own. At 9:17, the first notification hit. External audit discovered Brighton Logistics' $8.2 million credit line lacked renewal signatures. Internal compliance alerts followed. Auto-compiled compliance packages were submitted for judicial filing. Panic spread across the boardroom. Calls went unanswered. The CFO's hands trembled. "Has anyone reached her? Bring her here. We must retract." Others remained silent. No one admitted to ever signing or managing these critical clauses. The back end displayed retention buyout clause, trigger payment initiated. I didn't check the banking interface. I only recorded the time, numbers, and receipts. Precise, mechanical, executing every step of what they once called over-engineered. The whole operation was like surgery, severing the soft underbelly of their pride. At 9:01, the first transfer hit my account. $2,750,000. The Clause 6.7 retention mechanism activated. Years of protective provisions running automatically. The red numbers blinked on the screen. I glanced at them and closed my laptop. Someone in the boardroom knelt, begging. The CFO shouted, "Linda, you have to come back. We can negotiate. Restore your position." The system didn't require my manipulation. The first judicial filing, the second trigger, the third asset redirection, all executed according to the clause. Legal provisions were precise fuses, igniting their capital chain one step at a time. The CFO's voice shifted from anger to pleading. "What do you want?" Position, reputation, compensation. Anything. Just retract it. I looked at the screen. The original Clause 6.7 document glimmered on my desk. I printed it, framed it, and prepared to hang it in my new office. You already gave me everything you considered important. Power, status, convenience, I said calmly, but never learned to respect the system's architect. You built your kingdom with my labor, then slammed the door when I failed to meet your expectations. That door is now locked. The meeting ended. Media outlets started sniffing irregularities. Industry groups buzzed. By late morning, letters from law firms, regulators, and credit rating agencies poured in. The board issued a brief statement. The company was experiencing unexpected compliance and structural challenges. Emergency measures underway. Hours later, transactions were re-evaluated. Acquisition proposals sold at a discount. Board members resigned. Regulators launched investigations. The CFO was suspended. Subsidiaries entered restructuring. The company lost control, but I retained my reputation and regained the respect that had been denied to me. I didn't celebrate in the headlines. I hung a copy of Clause 6.7 on the wall, next to a brass plaque reading, "Next time you freeze someone, make sure they don't hold the thermostat." Late at night, calls never stopped. Former colleagues panicked, executives begged, old allies offered support, unknown lawyers inquired. Some offered money for silence, some sought private settlements, some tried to petition for reversals. The outcome was determined by the clauses and judicial filings, not by their will. Weeks later, the company's leadership was reorganized. A new board instituted. My name became known in the industry, respected and feared. Startup founders sent collaboration requests. I returned to my work calmly, focusing on products, ensuring systems were stable, processes resilient, and people less able to destroy them. I hung the framed clause in the conference room. Visitors photographed it and posted it online. Comments read, "She wields the rules like a knife." A textbook lesson in respect and professionalism. I didn't care about the labels. The clause reminded me and everyone else. Rules outlast individuals. Late at night, I sometimes recalled that moment. The CFO on his knees before the screen, voice choked with pleading. His trembling wasn't just fear. It was realization. The power and dignity he thought irreplaceable were built on someone else's labor. Power vanished, dignity stripped, while systems and rules remembered the architect. Revenge complete, I returned to my terminal, organizing every number, every line of code. The city lights outside were quiet, unassuming. I made a cup of hot tea, sat down, and began answering the backlog of emails. Life continued. Work continued. Those who had wronged me would spend the rest of their days fearing the rules, finally learning to treat people as people.